pump it up a little bit here. It's a little bit quiet. Want people to come in. So, Bitcoin. How many of you guys have heard of it and thought it's an absolute scam?
Oh, scam?
Who thought it was a scam? And how many of you guys have heard of all the millions of dollars being made in Bitcoin and thought, how can I actually do that? Yeah? All right, cool. So today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, which is a new kind of currency, as well as Forex, and how I got into it, how you can get into it, and how they're different, really, and is it really a scam? So the main thing you want to know about Bitcoin is, and Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is only one of many, many, many new types of currencies called cryptocurrencies. I'm sure some of you may have heard of it, some of you may have not. We're going to get all about it. But the fact about crypto market, whether you heard about it in 2017 where everybody was like, oh, I got to buy Bitcoin, I got to buy Bitcoin, and Bitcoin started going up and up and up and up. Do you remember how high it went up? $20,000, right? It was crazy, and everybody was getting into it. Like my Uber driver was getting into it, my hairstylist was getting into it, my doctor. People who didn't even know a thing about trading or investing were like getting serious FOMO, fear of missing out, and they were just getting in for the sake of getting in, and that's the reason why it was just going up and up. And of course, that was a bubble. It doesn't work that way. You cannot just get in for the sake of getting in. People didn't even know what it stands for, what's underlying value about it, and it had to burst, and it did in 2018. But the fact about cryptocurrency market is that the scammers, the bubble, and the millionaires, they coexist. It is true that many people made millions of dollars in cryptocurrency, and many people got scammed, and many people actually lost, even not being scammed, but they just lost. So the good news is that crypto market is now evolving. After the burst, now the technology behind it has had the chance to become more regulated and the technology to become more evolved so that everybody can take advantage of it without being misinformed. But there's still one main problem in the field, and is that there's a lot of noise and misinformation. There are still so many people who are trying to elude you and say, hey, Bitcoin, hey, come get in, and just take you to a different place that is not necessary. So how do we do that? Today's agenda, I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief about cryptocurrency market. I'm going to make sure I'm not, oh, that's where it is, okay. And I don't have 45 minutes, I have to go through everything very fast. So I'm going to give you a brief about cryptocurrency. I'm going to give you 3 secrets of swing trading the Forex market, which is the currency again, and I'm going to give you 2 methods of profiting in the cryptocurrency market and how to equip yourself with the best knowledge so that you don't get scammed or lose money. So let's go. I first heard of Bitcoin back in 2011. Back then, I was working on Wall Street at FXCM, and Forex, as many of you guys know, it's one of the riskiest assets to trade. And even then, one of my friends, his name is Nathaniel, he lives in Switzerland, and he told me, hey, you got to buy Bitcoin. I'm like, Bitcoin? That sounds so shady. Even though I was trading the riskiest asset of them all, Forex, I was like, Bitcoin is too risky for me. So I said no to that. Of course, in 2017, I was kicking myself. However, I really started getting into cryptocurrency and the research of it in 2017. It's actually very recent. I was pregnant. That is my belly. My daughter just turned 1. And this company in the UK asked me to do research and analysis about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. I'm like, okay, what are you talking about? I don't know what blockchain is. But they were like, okay, we know you're good at research and analysis. Why don't you just do it? So I started doing it. And I was very, very surprised to see that crypto is much bigger than just Bitcoin that I at one point thought it's a scam. And blockchain technology, which is the underlying asset or the underlying motor, basically, engine for cryptocurrency is even bigger than cryptocurrency itself. How many of you guys have heard of the blockchain technology before? You have, great. And how many of you have heard of the internet? Everybody has. So let me ask you a question. What do you use the internet for? You can use the internet for email. You can use the internet for online trading. You can run your entire business on the internet. You can also watch adult videos on the internet, right? So there are a lot of usages of the internet. You can also do scams in the internet. But how about the blockchain technology? So the reason why they call blockchain the new internet or the new revolution is because you can apply blockchain technology for things like, well, of course, payment. Bitcoin is one of the applications of blockchain. If you were to compare blockchain and Bitcoin versus the internet and email, that's basically it. Email is a byproduct of the internet. You don't have to know how the internet works, but you can use email. You don't have to know how the blockchain technology works, but you can use crypto. So payment is, well, the reason why Bitcoin was the first application is because for 40 years, economists and financial advocates were searching for this holy grail of a digital currency that can eliminate the problems of double spending, of being centralized, of middlemen getting in front of in between your bank and your wallet. And so Bitcoin was basically solving some of the problems with the digital currency that we have today. But that is not the only application of blockchain technology. You can use blockchain technology for voting to make it safer. You can use it for supply chain monitoring. You can use it for identity verification. You can use it for legal ownership of stuff. You can use it for healthcare. For example, if you go to your doctor, how many of you guys have gone to a doctor and a new doctor, they don't have your records. They have to look it up. You have to call the other doctor. They don't have all other things. Things get lost. You get the wrong diagnosis. There's a lot of problems with healthcare, and blockchain can solve that because all of your data is going to be logged in blockchain, and you are the person who has all the access to it, and whenever you want to show it to your doctor, whoever your doctor is, and whatever part of it you want to show it to him, you can. So that is only one application of blockchain. Another one, you can use it for energy, for Internet of Things, for entertainment, and so much more. And a lot of the companies that you are familiar with today, Microsoft, IBM, JP Morgan, who once called Bitcoin a fraud, are now getting into blockchain because it is much bigger than the internet. And of course, cryptocurrency is one of the fastest growing applications of the blockchain technology because it could be used more often and it can have more adaptability. So let's get to trading and investing, which is why all of you guys are here today. That is what you're passionate about. Throughout my research and analysis for that company in the UK, I came to understand that cryptocurrency is sort of a cross between fiat currencies like the US dollar and actually equities like the stock market. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But first, my name is Kiana Danial. You may have seen or heard me on TV, or I used to report from the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, and I have written a bunch of books. My first book was InvestDiva's Guide to Making Money in Forex. That was published in 2013. My second book is Ichimoku Secrets. That is my favorite indicator of them all when it comes to technical analysis. My third book is the actual second edition of the first book, and now my new book, which is launching today, is Cryptocurrency Investing for Dummies. That, by the way, we're going to have a book signing at the end at 12:30, so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I won a bunch of awards. This is my daughter, Jasmine. Yes, she's won. She just turned 1. Last night she kept me awake all day, all night, but I'm still here. I won a bunch of awards. Last year I bought the Personal Investment Expert of 2018, and I'm going to tell you about how I got into it all. I actually don't have a financial background. Back in 2008, I was living in Japan. This is me in Japan right before my TV show. I had a TV show in Japan and I lived there for 7 years. But I made $10,000, doubled my money in the crashing market of 2008. Do you guys remember what happened in 2008? Oh, actually, let's backslash. This is me. I was born and raised in Iran. I don't know why I have this here. During the Iran-Iraq war, to a Jewish family. My mom got breast cancer, pushed me to go to Japan. That's why I went to Japan and I studied electrical engineering in Japan. I was the only girl in my class. That's me, surrounded by everybody. And it was tough. It was really, really hard being the only woman in the class. And that actually brings me to founding my company, which is called Investiva. Fast forward. Oh, I wanted to show you a clip of me in my Japanese TV show. Do we have the audio? No. All right. 日本語ペラペラです。日本人がいますか、ここに。日本語話せる。はい。はい。Konnichiwa. Okay, so I do speak Japanese. Anyway, so back in 2008, the market was crashing. I didn't know a thing about what the financial market is. What does a recession mean? Neither in Japanese or English. But I was talking about it out of nowhere to my Japanese host family mom, and she told me that, hey, I was actually seeing that the US dollar was crashing, and I was like, I probably can do something with it. The US dollar is getting cheaper. I have a bunch of Japanese yen. Maybe I can buy some US dollar at the cheaper price. So I was going to the ATM machine every day, and the market was crashing and crashing. Like, when is it going to end? When is it going to bottom out? And how can I kind of make money off of this? And my Japanese host family mom told me that there is something called trading, that you can go to a broker and you can use leverage and like do this and do that. And she basically did the whole thing for me. And through August to September 2008, I put in $10,000 and I doubled my money. It felt great. I was a college kid. And I'm like, oh my God, $10,000! Like, it's really cool. Like, as a college kid, $10,000 is really cool, right? By the way, fun fact, 2008 was also the year that Bitcoin's white paper was first published. I did not know that at the time. And Bitcoin was invented by an anonymous entity who called themselves Satoshi Nakamoto, which is a Japanese name, but nobody thinks Bitcoin was actually invented in Japan. But it was kind of a coincidence that I was in Japan and Bitcoin was invented or published. The white paper was published back then. So I made $10,000 then, took way too much risk. Don't do this at home. So let's get into, after I came to New York, I was like, this is awesome. I want to go out of Tokyo. I want to get out of engineering. I want to start trading because that's where the money is. So throughout my years trading and investing, I've come to realize that Forex trading is not being traded how it should be, because most often than not, the brokers want you to trade the way that make them money, unfortunately. And I have a lot of good friends who work at brokers, and I used to be at one of the brokers. I'm not going to say anything bad about that, but I'm telling you that the education around Forex is wrong. And that's the reason why 90% of traders lose money. All those people who are in Instagram like, hey, Forex millionaire, that's not true. I have never met a person who have become a millionaire just by trading Forex. I have met people who have become millionaire by diversification, but not only by Forex. You can prove me wrong, but this is what I do. It is a great way of growing your wealth, and this is how I do it. I swing trade Forex. And a lot of people tell me, hey, what about overnight fees? So secret number one is that, you know what? You can actually earn interest on select pairs and a select direction overnight. So why don't you just trade those? Because depending on where you are and which broker you are trading with and your location, you can actually go to their website or call your broker up and tell them, hey, what is the currency financing charges for euro dollar if I wanted to short it today and keep it for a year or two? So they will probably take you to this page that shows you. It's called Currency Financing Charges Calculator. So you see if you're going to earn an interest, or you're going to pay an overnight fee. If you're going to pay, you don't trade it. If you're going to earn, that's great. It's like dividend. You're going to have a current income just by holding on to that trade. And if you get losing, you're not going to worry about it because, you know, the market is going to go back up anyway. That is, the Forex market is very cyclic. Secret number two, patience is a very profitable virtue. Day trading Forex sucks. It takes a toll out of you. I used to do it, and yes, sometimes you make money, but then you get greedy, then emotions get involved. And it's very, very easy to lose when you are emotional. So this actually brings us back to secret number one, which is if you don't have to worry about your overnight fees, then you can be patient. And you know what? your market strategy normally is that, okay, I'm going to enter here and the market is just going to jump up and it's going to get here and I'm going to get out and I'm going to become a millionaire. It doesn't work that way. All of you guys know that the markets are always just choppy and choppy and choppy. And it takes time, like anything else. Like a business, if you want to be successful, you have to be persistent and you have to be patient. So this is very important when it comes to Forex trading. So this is basically what I do. I enter a trade, meanwhile in Bora Bora, I'm relaxing 2 weeks later, 3 months later, whatever, my trade is going to execute and I didn't have to worry about it. What would you guys do if you were able to actually have your trades work for you while you are sleeping overnight and you're worrying about it? What would you guys do? Have fun? Go by the beach? I don't know, take time with family? Go to a movie or something? Right? And I'm not the only person. Oh, secret number 3. I didn't even get into it. I don't use stop losses. So stop losses is one thing that, if done incorrectly, and I believe stop losses are overused. And the reason why it's become like the bread and butter of every trade, oh, you got to have a stop loss. Why? Because all the brokers want you to have a stop loss. Why? They make money when you lose. So the sooner you get kicked out, they're going to make that money. Yes, sometimes you can cut your losses if something crazy happens like Brexit. That's something like you're like, okay, like 3 years ago. I'm still in that trade, by the way. I was long pound dollar. I am. It's probably going to go back up in like 10 years. I'm earning my overnight interest, whatever, who cares, right? And I'm not the only person who doesn't use stop losses. I know Warren Buffett doesn't trade Forex, but even with stocks, and his friend Guy Spire, who is actually one of my friends as well, they don't use stop losses as well. Because when you use stop losses, you oftentimes are going to get out prematurely. How many of you guys have used a stop loss and 2 minutes later the market has gone back up? Right? Like it happens all the time. It's so frustrating. Just get rid of it. Yeah, be informed, but just don't overdo it. As long as you know that you're not getting overnight fees, you're going to be fine. And yeah, so they don't do it either. So let's go to trading and swing trading crypto now, because that was kind of our topic of the day. So trading crypto is kind of a cross between Forex and equity. So here's the reason why. You can trade cryptocurrencies just like Forex in pairs. Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency out there. There are 2,000 other cryptocurrencies out there and growing. Some of them are scams, some of them are going to be the next Amazons or Googles, and some of them are not. You have to understand the underlying technology. I'm going to get into it in a little bit, but one of the similarities between cryptocurrency trading and Forex is that you have to trade them in pairs. So for that reason, if you're trading euro-dollar, you have to know what's happening with euro and you have to know what's happening with the US dollar. Same with cryptocurrencies. If you're trading Bitcoin versus Ethereum, Ethereum versus Ripple, or what have you, you have to understand what's happening with both sides. Another similarity with Forex is that they're both very volatile, at least for now. Cryptocurrency is very volatile. But the similarity with equities, like stocks, we all saw what happened with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was not even the best performing cryptocurrency. Ripple, or a lot of other cryptocurrencies, had a lot more profits and gains back in 2017. So the reason why you can use it as an equity is because of its underlying blockchain technology. The same way that when you analyze stock market, you have to go to the company's financials and understand what the CEO is doing, what the future holds. You can do the same exact thing for each and every cryptocurrency. What is the blockchain technology behind it? What are their goals? Where are they now? Where are they going to go tomorrow? What are they team like? And another thing that you can also do with cryptocurrency is you can have a current income, sort of like dividend payments of the stock market. Not all of them do, but some of them do. So these are some of the similarities of crypto with Forex and equities. And again, because we don't have the video audio on, I'm not going to show you this, but this is basically a video that I've used for my education courses, how currency pairs dance together, and you always have to know both sides. So we're not going to get into that. We're going to go to the next slide. So I talked about, in our today's agenda, 2 methods of profiting in crypto. One is short-term and one is long-term. How are they different? So short-term trading, pros and cons. Pros is that you can take advantage of high volatility. You can spend less time evaluating each of the cryptocurrencies underlying blockchain because it's a little bit weird. You don't know what's happening. You don't know where to look. So if you just want to get in there for a quick buck, yeah, you could short-term trade it. I don't do it because of the cons, because the risks are way too high, even higher than Forex at the moment. And there are so many unknown event risks. At least with Forex, we know when the ECB is going to have their announcement. We know when the rate decision is coming. With crypto, often, we don't know. And there are so many. So with Forex, we only have 7 major pairs. With crypto, there are thousands. So it's a little bit tougher to do short-term trading, and I honestly wouldn't recommend it. The best way to profit in crypto is treating it as an asset, like equities, and getting into it longer term. You can expect massive capital gains. You could opt in for the ones that pay you dividends, and you could have a choice of diversification, just like you would do with your portfolio, with your stock portfolio. You can have at least 25 cryptocurrencies that you've done your evaluations on, and, well, you can hope for the best that they're going to go in your way, but diversification is going to be key for long-term trades. But, of course, the cons is that you have to do sophisticated fundamental analysis on the blockchain technology. You have to be aware of the surprise risk events that are going to pop up. And again, there are going to be thousands of tokens to evaluate, but just like stocks. So that's not going to be that different. But the biggest problem with any of that when it comes to crypto is that free information is everywhere. And it's very, very hard right now. If you go and Google, this is literally what I did. I went on YouTube and I searched how to make money in crypto, and this is what came up. I have no idea what like some of these stuff came up, but like make 2,000 fast and this and that. It's just ridiculous. So it's very tough to weed through the correct information. And the question that I want to ask you today is that do you want results or random information? I think all of you can agree that you don't want random information. You want results, especially when it comes to your money, because you've earned it. You don't want to just lose it with random information. So that's the reason why, you guys. I agreed to write Cryptocurrency Investing for Dummies last year. This is probably to the date last year. My daughter Jasmine was born on March 6th. And I was getting this guy on LinkedIn kept pinging me his, hey, I got a book deal for you for crypto. I'm like, yeah, right, scam, bye. So I was ignoring him for 4 months, and I was not planning to work last year. I was planning to go on maternity leave and let my portfolio just do its magic, right? But I don't know, somehow that day, I was like, okay, let me check this guy out. And it turned out he was Paul, I can never pronounce his last name. He's the author of Stocks Investing for Dummies. And I was like, oh my God, this is legit. I'm like, okay, what's up? It's like, yeah, so they wanted me to write Cryptocurrency Investing for Dummies. I have no idea what it is. Could you write it? And I'm like, oh my God. But that was exactly when everybody was losing in crypto. And all my friends and all my students were asking me about it too. And I'm like, you know what? I have a choice here. I have a choice to just focus on my daughter, which is going to be beautiful, or I have a choice to both take care of my daughter and write the book. And I took the second choice. And so today is a book launch, by the way, and that's the reason why I told you this story. And I've been buzzing around. I don't know if any of you have been on my website. I've been buzzing around about this big new secret about my book launch that is going to be today. I want some of you to take a guess. What do you think that secret is about the book launch today?
Free.
Free? That's a lot of people guess that. Not quite. 50. Why is it all about money? All right. A lot of people thought I'm going to be on the cover of Forbes. People thought it's going to be a best-selling. And it might come true, but the secret is actually not that. This morning, I revealed the secret at WABC's Bernie and Sid's show. And the secret actually, as a new mom, is that I'm going to donate all the proceeds this month, because it's Women's Month, to help stop trafficking and sexual abuse of children. So I've been doing a lot of research about the best charities that do that, and I'm now kind of torn between the Thorn.org and OUR. And if I make the first 10,000, I'm going to give the first 10,000 to Thorn, because I really like how they use AI, artificial intelligence, in going after these people and really track them down. But OUR, they've hired former CIA people to go to Mexico and Argentina and everywhere and crack down the sex trafficking. So these are the two places the money is going to go, and that's the reason why. So the book is available on Amazon. However, I have no control on the proceeds of that because that is with the publisher. The only thing that I do have control on, I do appreciate it if you've already bought the book on Amazon, I appreciate that, but the only place that I do have control on is on my website. So you can go to investiva.com/books. And then under the books tab, you will see Cryptocurrency Investing for Dummies is the first book that is listed there. You click on that orange button, and then you go to this page. You see my picture over there, and I've announced over there as well that the Women's Month special is going to be donated to the charities. You can go ahead, click there, and then we're going to have a book signing at 12:30 today. So once you do that, you come to the booth on the other side of the aisle where all the booths are. You show me this email that you receive once you purchase the book on investiva.com, and I'll give you your signed book. So, yeah, and I'll sign your book for you. That's going to be it. So, that is kind of it. I don't know how I am with time, but do we have time for a question and answer? Was I good on time?
One question.
Awesome. Of course. Please go ahead.
How do we get this currency financing charges calculator?
Oh, so you go to your broker. Whoever your broker is, you ask, you can just call them up or you can ask them through their chats. Just tell them, I want to know what my overnight fee is for the currency pairs. And they're going to direct you to that page. No, the page calculated for you. So what you do, let me actually show you. Let me go back. So what you do in that calculator, and all brokers have that. It's not just as heavily advertised, right? So what you do is that you go to that calculator and you put in the currency pair that you want to trade, and you put in whether you want to short it or whether you want to go long. You put in, this is an example of Oanda, but every broker has it. And you say how long you wanna keep it for, and I normally just put 360 days because, like, who knows, right? I want to be as long as possible. It just shows you interest earned at the bottom box. It shows you whether it's negative or positive. If it's negative, stay away. If it's positive, go in. All right? Any other questions? Yes.
How do you define your risk if you're not using any stop losses?
So, well, I define my risk through diversification. I don't only trade Forex or cryptocurrencies. The reason why I added cryptocurrency was also diversification. I pairs at a time. So I don't go overboard, and I focus the rest of my energy or portfolio on stocks and cryptocurrencies and ETFs. So I have a very holistic portfolio, and every person's risk tolerance is different, obviously. So my risk tolerance is different than yours. So for example, because I have the ability to take risk, but I'm kind of like a frugal person. I don't like to take risk. So my risk tolerance is kind of medium. So majority of my portfolio is actually stocks and crypto rather than Forex. And that's why I don't go over 3 pairs, because even if I do lose, which has happened once in the past 7 years, and that happened actually, I knew it's going to come. It was a mistake that I made. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. It happened actually this January. It's live on YouTube. You can go and check it out. I told my students, hey, dollar yen is going to crash. It happened live as I was having my webinar. But yes, I did lose like $2,000, but it wasn't that big of a deal for me because I was well diversified. That was a risk that I could take, that I was able to take. And I made it up with my Kiwi yen trade the next week, actually. So that is how diversification is the only way that I manage my risk. Yes?
You know why the Bitcoin bubble burst? Is a specific reason? Do you know why it was?
Yeah, it's the Bitcoin.
When futures rocked, the day they rocked, Bitcoin dropped, it came straight down. Bitcoin futures.
Bitcoin
First of all.
futures. Okay, so let me, for those of you who didn't hear him, I believe your question is why did the Bitcoin bubble burst and what did it have anything to do with Bitcoin futures announcement? Yeah, so it may have, but the Bitcoin bubble was supposed to burst because it was just going up out of hype. It had no fundamental reason for it to go up that fast. And the reason why it burst was simply because there were no more sellers. So everybody was buying, and at some point, everybody had some Bitcoin. And that is a bubble because people were not really trading it strategically. And honestly, I think that was a blessing because it gave time for everybody to educate themselves. And the brokers were not ready for that either. Kraken is one of the crypto exchanges, was cracking, really. Like, it was not able, trades were not going through. There was a lot that went through the burst at that exact time just because people were not ready. And Bitcoin futures probably did play a role at the timing, but that was supposed to happen anyway. Yes?
Do you recommend any broker for Forex trading?
Oh man, are you located in the US? So there are literally just 3 brokers that you can go with. Diversify. I literally have accounts with all of them because you know what? I had an account with FXCM, and I used to work at FXCM, and it went down. And guess what? Like all my trades got like, you know, effed up. So it was good that I had my other ones. So I wouldn't go with only one because you never know what's going to happen. I recently was invited to go to Sweden to check out Scandinavian capital markets, SCM. That is for Europeans. It's a little bit different. But they appear to want to revolutionize Forex trading through straight through processing, which FXCM used to have as well. So I don't know about that. I'm going to announce that on Investiva about my findings. I just came back from Sweden actually last week, but I don't have a specific recommendation for you. But just do your research and stay away from scammers. Whoever looks shady is probably shady. Okay? Yes?
And the same question for cryptocurrencies. What do you use, like which platform?
Which platforms? Okay, that's a great question. So again, in the US, if you want to start with just some major cryptocurrencies and you want to exchange your fiat currency, your US dollar, the best place to go is an exchange called Coinbase. You can write that down. I also talk about it. I have free articles on my website about this. You can go through it. I have like top exchanges and how to choose an exchange. But there you can only trade 7 cryptocurrencies versus the US dollar. But as I said before, you want to diversify. You want to have other cryptocurrencies that Coinbase doesn't handle. But the other exchanges, they don't accept US dollar. They only trade versus one another, only cryptocurrency versus cryptocurrency. Other ones that I like are Binance, Bitrex, Kraken. These are all in the US, and there are so many other ones that are popping up as well. But the same steps that you take to choose a broker, a Forex broker, you want to make sure they're legit, you want to make sure they have a great customer service, you want to make sure their website doesn't crash, you want to take when you're choosing an exchange, a crypto exchange. Any other questions? All right, I guess we're good. I'm hoping that I'm going to see you at 12:30 at the booth to get the cryptocurrency investing for dummies. And thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak today, and I appreciate you guys listening to the whole speech. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.